Welcome, folks. Thanks for being here. We're trying to get a bit deeper into the stack, the layers of different components that make up a application, including a generative AI application. Um, so one, should you ever create your own model from scratch? With generative AI, for everyone here, including myself, basically no. You're always going to work from someone else's model. You want to use fine tuning in the case of writing if the model does not include specific vocabulary or style you want, or you want the model to perform a specific task very reliably. Um, in imagery, it's a more advanced way of changing the image style, or a way of teaching the model something it doesn't know, like your face, for instance. And so if you're really interested in fine tuning for imagery, then I would Google search for this term LoRa. Um, which what it means isn't super important, but if you're really passionate about getting into self-hosting models and hosting your own models, I would suggest starting with imagery because the size of the models, the fact that they're smaller and need less hardware, makes them more approachable. This is how you want to think about retrieval augmentation versus fine tuning. Retrieval augmentation, if you're thinking about optimizing your model for what it needs to know, then you would think about retrieval augmentation. And you can do a little bit of this through prompt engineering. Someone earlier was mentioning that by dropping information in the custom instructions, the model then knows things. And so um, with retrieval augmentation, you're basically using a search step to pull information strategically into the prompt. That's kind of a mini version of that, right? So prompt engineering can be a simple version of that. If you run out of room in your prompt, let's say you have a book that's 6,000 pages long, like the Talmud, or you have you have 20,000 documents in a database. This is by no means going to fit into the prompt. Or maybe you have a 200-page book, which technically would fit into the prompt, but it's going to be difficult to operate over. It's going to cost you $4 every time you hit submit, and you'd rather just pull chunks of it in. Then you want to think about retrieval augmentation. For fine tuning, this is when you're optimizing for how the model needs to act, whether it needs to talk a certain way or perform certain kinds of tasks, or maybe you want your model to conduct chain of thought without being instructed to, these kinds of things. Then you think about fine tuning. And these things are not actually either or. People will often ask like, well, which one is better? The answer is that they do different